Hello, this is Jen Mitchell Love from Solace Divorce Mediation. And today's live is all about co-parenting and being a unified front for our children. And I know it's hard. I'm divorced and I have a co-parent. And yeah, when you move from that relationship of married and go through the divorce and then move into co-parents, it can be difficult, it can be tricky because there were reasons that you got a divorce and, obviously you're going to have differences and probably different ways of parenting, different ways of living, different ways of thinking, different ways of being, all different things. And this live is inspired because last night I picked up my daughter who is 13. I picked her up from a post-dance middle school party and she got into my car and she reeked. Her clothes, her hair just reeked of vape. And I actually got a really bad headache in my third eye. It was so bad. It was so chemically and it was awful. And yeah, it just solidified for me, how important it is to have a strong relationship with my co-parent, and how important that is to be a unified front for our children. And it doesn't matter how many differences we have. It doesn't matter if we're best friends, if we're really good friends. None of that matters because we brought these children into the world together, and it is our responsibility to continue to parent them together. And so, yeah, as a side note, just with the vape story, I have a 15-year-old freshman boy, a 13-year-old seventh grade girl, and a almost 12-year-old sixth grade boy. And a couple months ago, I bought an at-home vape test to see, test for nicotine. They just pee on a stick. And I've told them, you're going to have random tests. And if you test positive, you do not have your phone for a week. You do not see your friends for a week. And I feel for them, that's a nice excuse for them not to participate in the vaping. I think it's like an epidemic, truly. I think there's so many kids that are vaping. There's so many kids that are drinking. And I think the reason for it is the kids today are dealing with so much more than we ever dealt with as children. I am going to be 50 this year. And my childhood was very much, we didn't have cell phones, of course. And it was very much, my parents telling me to get outside and play and not come home until it's dark outside. And so there was a lot of autonomy and there, tons of freedom. But we didn't have vapes. We didn't do that. And I was a swimmer, so I never drank in high school or middle school. But I think today's world is different. They have social media. They have a lot of different stressors that we didn't have as children. And so, yeah, this live is inspired by my children and really is to communicate how important it is to be a unified front for your children with your co-parent. The soul contract of marriage, when there are children involved, that soul contract is forever. It's forever. It's for your whole life. You're always going to be connected to one another in the space of co-parents. And it's a very sacred relationship. It's an important relationship. And I need to check myself too from time to time of being like, you know what? It is what it is, And I think a final share, and this is from my heart space to yours and my belief system. Our children choose us to be their parents. And I think about that a lot. I think about, okay, so my 3 kids chose me to be mom. They chose Aaron to be dad. And they chose us for all the reasons that they did. And it's because we are going to give them the love and teach them the lessons to help them in their journey, their own soul's journey of reaching the highest and greatest expression of self. And so when you think about it that way, when I think about it that way, it really, it helps. It helps to just recognize that they chose me, they chose dad, and that choice is theirs. And it's for their life growth and purpose to be fulfilled. And it has nothing to do with the relationship between me and dad, and my job as a mom and as a co-parent to my co-parent is to focus on these beautiful children and communicate well and really let go of anything that I am holding on to as far as anger or resentment or disappointment or frustration or whatever it is, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is that we are on the same team, co-parenting these children and helping them navigate these tricky spaces that they're in, because it is tricky. There's so much happening in the world. So I am sending you much love as you navigate your co-parenting relationship. And I hope that everything is smooth and happy and joyful and full of so much love, and that your kids can feel that, because kids are very, very in tune energetically. So it doesn't even matter what you are saying. Oftentimes, the words that come out of our mouth, children are more in tune with how things feel, with the energy surrounding. And when the words that come out of your mouth are not in alignment with the energy that you are sharing, kids can feel that, and it makes them confused. So we want to stay consistent. We want to stay as a unified front for our children. And hopefully we enjoy this co-parenting journey, because it is a lifelong relationship and experience. Sending you so much love. Mwah. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.